can't please everybody. You know, I say it as I think it. It doesn't always go down too well. I mean, that's probably why Colin's pissed off, but so what? Yeah. Wasn't really an argument, to be quite honest with you. It was just comment. He got the ump and said something, and I said something back, and that were it. Fucking gone.
See, I used to reserve comments because he's done it a few times down in the past, and I always used to reserve comment because I thought he was alright. But then when he told me he thought I was a liar, his point of view changed a little bit. You know, I ain't ever lied to him. And then got told that he believes I'm a liar. Because everybody lies on here. And then when I said to him, hang on a minute, I don't lie to you. Do you think I'm a liar? Yeah, he said. So I thought, oh well. So it's one of those, isn't it? You know, because I was listening to most of that conversation. Near the bit where he spat the dummy out. But I did hear all that, because I didn't believe for 1 second it was Brian. Because his rationale on why it was Brian, even when I explained to him why it would be like that, he still wouldn't have it. You know, because he was going on about Brian being way over the strongest, but Brian would be, because Brian runs 600 watts and is right near Al Capone, living in Haywood, not far from Bamford, where it says on the website, this receiver is in Bamford, using a magnetic loop, and it does sound like it's a magnetic loop because of the types of interference it gets. No, that's why I've always said I don't think it's that vodka steak. I don't think he's fucking up to it. So, to be honest with you, I think his head's too fucking messed up keying up here on here every night. You know, could he manage to pay that though? I don't think he fucking could. And there's another few things which I'm not going to go on about on here. That also make me believe it's not him, which I'm not even going to hint at, but anyway. I reckon whoever it is in Bamford, right? And it's right near Brian. Brian runs loads of power, and that's why Brian's the strongest. And I had to explain that to him a couple of times, and he did not take it on board whatsoever. He still kept on saying about how Brian was the strongest.
I think you're getting it a little bit wrong here. What Colin was trying to say was, on them recordings on YouTube, is that everybody else, they've got like a car engine interference, haven't they? But when Al Capone's on, there's no interference at all. So Colin's idea was, it must be Brian that's doing the recordings, because he lives round the corner. Therefore, signal's going to be a lot clearer. There's not going to be any of that interference. And I said, look, it's 100% not fucking Brian. There's no way. But then I sort of took offence when he said, it's 100% Brian. Now, I've known Brian quite a long time, and I know for a fucking fact that it's not Brian, but he wasn't having it. And Colin, his next get out was, well, yeah, but he could be talking. I says, even Brian's on some of them recordings. Colin's excuse get out of that one was, well, yeah, Brian could be recording in one room and talking on a different radio in another. I says, what, 3 o'clock in the morning? I says, fuck off. I says, he goes to work. Well, he can set it to record while he's asleep. It was just getting more and more ridiculous. And I thought, oh, fuck off, Colin. You know, I was listening that night when he was on about the lies and that, you know, everybody, well, whenever it was, but about the, whatever time, about everybody tells lies, you tell lies, it's sort of the, well, the first thing I'd have said, had I been talking, because I was just listening, would have been, well, go on then, Colin, whenever have I ever told you a lie? Which one ever? Because it's never happened. I don't tell lies. I don't have to tell fucking lies. I say it as it is, even if it's embarrassing. If I make a fuck up, I'm quite happy to say so.
Yeah. No, it was the same as what I'm saying. I'm not mistaken on what he was saying. There was no noise on Brian. We get that, but as I say, Brian was just round the corner. That's why. And yeah, Brian could have put it on a recorder and recorded it while he went to work. Yeah, I get all that. He could have. But it weren't him. Because he was saying, just because there's no noise on his signal, it was him. And that's not the case. It's just that he's dead close and there's not going to be any noise. No, his signal's overwhelming the noise the guy's getting. The same as Al Capone does. No, I've listened to them, but have I listened to all 50 of them? No. Has he listened to all 50 of them? I don't know, strange if he has, like.
Well, I've listened to about 25, 30 seconds of one of them, that's it. No point me sitting there listening to something that I've already fucking heard, because, Rick's on from the minute I get up till I go to bed, and that's an house. But I took offence when Colin said, it's 100% Brian. Now, had he said, well, I think it might be Brian, that'd be different. Well, I've had sort of, I don't think so, Colin. But when he says it's 100% it's Brian, I took offence. You'll notice I don't like people being accused of things that I fucking know damn well they ain't doing. Like Tommy and the 70 quid bulb. I knew that never happened, and I knew Brian never did that either, so I will get my fucking R out when I hear somebody being badly done by. But Colin just made more excuses as to just try and justify it being Brian. And I just got more and more annoyed.
Hey, you don't have to tell me. It was one who out to rate for that 70 quid. Fucking me. As soon as Jay said that to me, I said, nah, no chance. And I got on air one night and had it out. That's why I had that out. But it's one of them, innit? I don't think it was Brian either. I think it was very unfair of him to say 100% reckons it's Brian yet as well. That was about the point where I fucked off, really. Because I do think that's a very unfair thing to say that. When really he's got no proof other than a few little recordings on YouTube, which could be explained, in my opinion. He ain't got the right to go saying that. I'd say it was pretty, it was like a little simple bit of keying up, was it? But then, look at the time his radio broke. See, that now sticks in my head. Them going on about everybody being a liar on here, right? You don't believe a word anybody says. This is the thing with him, and this is why I think, for me, it's going to be a hard one moving on. Because I can't have it, mate. I'm sitting there, and I'm thinking, he don't fucking believe what I'm saying. Because that's all I'm thinking about, mate. What's the point? Because everybody was the same. Remember all that interference on his radio? He wouldn't have it. Didn't matter how many times you told him. I said to him, I'm not messing. That happened a couple of times previous to that time happened. And he wouldn't have it. So it's one of them, innit? I don't know why the lack of trust, though. Well, I should do sort of get it a little bit, but you think you'd know us a bit better than that, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah. I don't think he's a stupid bloke, is he? But, it's Kenwood that I fixed for him. When he went to DOS, it developed a different problem where the display would go off completely, and I sort of said, if you tap it, does it come on and slowly fade out? He says, yeah, it does. So I said, I know exactly what's wrong with that. I said, pop it round one time. Your brother says, I'll do that free of charge for you while you wait. And he sort of turned his nose up at that. He says, I can't be arsed with it, so I'm not bothered. And I was offering to mend it for fuck all, and I thought, all right then, fucking hell.
Oh yeah, I remember that as well. Yeah, very strange. What was wrong with her?
Well, he never brought it. He turned his nose up. He says, I can't be arsed with it. So, with the fading display, so, well, he's gone off now, so I don't know what he's going to do with that.
No, it went funny, didn't it, noisy-wise, and then he brought it round a while ago now.
Oh, that? Yeah, the VCO had gone off tune slightly.
Strange. Same thing happened over that radio in the first place, though, The Spanker had that, right? And they offered it to Colin cheap, because he knew Colin never had much cash, right? And that was why it was cheap. And Colin had turned his nose right up it, didn't he? And then Biff heard how much he wanted for that off Colin, and Biff snatched his hand off, which she would, because it'd be well worth the money. Because you'd sold it to Ian, hadn't you, at the same price. And it was just, cheap radio. And then, next thing you know, Colin's got a bit of a huff on, because Biff's got the radio. And Colin had turned around and said that he didn't want it, but, he wouldn't mind it, but he didn't want it, money and this, that, and that. Spanker would have kept it and all that. There's a bit of an atmosphere over that. Fucked up radio, then.
Well, no, the full story with that. Originally, that was Mark II's. Mark II went to Huddersfield and bought that off a guy, and the sideband was fucked on it. It sounded like it was underwater, as you'll recall. And so, somehow I ended up with it. I ended up owning it, so I sorted all that shit out. And then I sold it to a guy in Epton Bridge, serviced. And then I had an 850, or a Kenwood 870 that I sold to a guy in Littleborough whose fuel goes on 40 metres and that. And he says, will you part X this 440? I says, yeah, I said, but I don't know about it. I said, I said, I've 100 quid on it. I said, that's it. And then Mark, yeah. Right, I'll be round in 5 minutes. And there it was. The Spanker took it. And then Biff bought it for the same price. I think Biff had it for about 9 months. And then Pigeon Steve ended up with it. And somehow I got it back off Pigeon. I don't know if I was selling it on his behalf. I can't just recall. And then Colin got it. So it's done its little rounds of that. But that's the whole story of that particular radio.
That's what happens in this hobby, doesn't it? People get licenses and they start becoming fucking second-hand purveyor of radio shite. I've seen it happen many times over the years. People get licenses and next thing you know, they're fucking dealing and shit. Did it myself, you know what I mean? I can't fucking criticise.
Yeah, well, it's too fucking old, that radio anyway, but I was a bit surprised. I mean, I did say to Colin, I know exactly what's up with. Alright then.
Yeah, I think his opinion is guided by his pocket, Because when he had the fucking radio that only did 40 watts, he was like, oh, you don't need that power, blah, 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 I'm only running such and such. And then as soon as he got that fucking Kenwood, he was like, no, I said to him, I won't be running that at full tilt. But, he never listens, and he says, I'm always like, we've got to turn full up. Like, fucking hell, it's funny that. He didn't, when he had it, he didn't mind using it. When he didn't have it, he didn't want to use it. Pretty. I've heard loads of people do that, though.
Yeah, but there's a fair chance Colin's listening on his scanner. I think I sent you a message about Colin at one point, and I said, you know what, I don't think it's a full fucking ticket. You might remember that.
Fucking hell, Steve, there was no need to tell me that, was there? Everybody's different though, aren't they? Speaking of that, I'm going with fucking nearly 2 o'clock. See that fucking, that black professor in Cambridge has topped himself?
I don't know. No idea. I don't mind Colin. Not really fell out with him. It was just one little disagreement and that's it. Off he fucking goes. Fucking hell. If that's what you're going to do, it's wrong place for you, isn't it? This is. Yeah, he doesn't think quite like I do. But then, if we all thought the same, we'd all, where do we go with that one? 2 o'clock, is it? Fuck me, it is.
Yeah. No, have you heard about that fucking black Cambridge, the first young black Cambridge professor? Does all sorts for charity, and then people have been finding out it's all bullshit. Or not all bullshit, but a good proportion of it's bullshit. Nobody looked into his qualifications really when he got this job in Cambridge. Just give it to him and he topped himself. And it was on the news tonight. It's been kind of a big stink about it really. Anyway, it was on the news tonight, and after she read the report out on him, she turned around and said, if anybody needs any help or advice and there's any issues with this, and give a fucking phone number out. Well, hang on a minute. They never did that for Anne Widdicombe. Anne Widdicombe was a 78-year-old woman who was beaten to death with a hammer in her own home. Surely that's more fucking traumatising to the fucking public than some fucking black guy topping himself.
I remember Anne Widdicombe quite well. She used to come on the telly, you know, from Houses of Parliament and that. I quite liked her, actually. And the two blokes, well, I think there were two blokes that did her in. They were from, I think one was, well, they were from different parts of the country. So what that was all about, I don't know what's been going on with that. News has gone quiet, but I've not had radio on all day, and when it is on, normal, I don't watch telly, you know, as such, apart from films and that on bloody Netflix or what have you. The only other normal radio I listen to is Radio 4 or shortwave in the night. So I've not had the radio on, so I don't know about it.
First fella they caught was the wrong one. They let him go, and the second fella he'd done it. He drove all the way down, drove a good few hundred miles in his car and been beaten to death with that hammer. And so there was nowhere on the news, there was no like, you know, because regardless of a political point of view, which wasn't a bad one, alright, some people disagreed with it, you know. Who the fuck goes around killing an old woman? 78-year-old woman in her own home, just about to have her lunch, and some cunt comes in and fucking does her in with a hammer. I find that way more traumatising. How come there's nothing said at the end of the news? Anybody got any issues with this? Here's a fucking helpline for you. But when some fucking liar gets outed, you know, there's a fucking helpline there, just because he's black.
Years ago, when my dad were around and he used to sit glued. He used to sit glued to his curry and glued to his Emmerdale, both of which I think is wank. I know you like your Emmerdale, but I don't. It's just bollocks. It was good when it was Emmerdale Farm in the 80s, you know. Kelly Windsor with short skirts on up her house and nice set of thighs to look at. But anyway, I'm going off topic. Start thinking about that's distracting me. Some of the storylines in Corrie and Emmerdale, at the end of it would say, if you've been affected by any issues, you know, ring this number.
Yeah, so it's like. That's what pisses me off about it, really. Because you watch the news and there'll be all sorts of things in the news. You know, so many people have died at a wedding in Iraq. Suicide bombers killed fucking loads of people in a christening. You know, shit like that. Really horrendous crimes are going on. You know, there's been loads of Palestinians killed today because of politicians arguing. You know, there was fucking loads of settlers. All that on the news. And not one fucking notice at the end of it. If that's traumatised the news, because it is pretty bad, we agree. Here's an helpline number for you. None of that. But then you get a programme on that's completely fictitious, and there's a helpline for you.
Oh no. Proper fucked, isn't it? Fucking hilarious. God almighty. Yeah, I can't remember last time I watched Corrie, it got Kevin and Sally Webster in it. I don't know who's in it now. I bet Ken Barlow's still in it. Fucking hell, they've never been able to get rid of that cunt, have they? Emmerdale, well, Jack something, I remember him. Kelly Windsor. Amos and Seth. That's about it. Dodgy.
Right, I'm defo going.
Yeah, I'm probably boring you now, aren't I? I think I'm getting too old to remember all this shit. There, Mr. Wilson. There, Mr. Wilson.
No, I've got a terrible fucking sleep pattern, that's what it is. I could stay on here all night. and then don't get no fucking sleep, and then come tomorrow daytime, I'll be fucked. So that's why I'm fucking making the decision. I'm fucking off now.
Well, I'm bright as a fucking button because Dickhead here went and had a kit earlier on for about an hour after I overfaced myself with steak, some oven chips, garden peas, and a dollop of gravy. And after I had that, I felt fucked, and I thought, oh, I'll run have a little kip. And yeah, fatal. I always cook more than I fucking want. Never mind, eh? Right, yeah, I'll knob off. It's getting on a bit, innit? Right, cheers for the chat. I'll speak to you tomorrow, perhaps.
Yeah, alright, see, catch you later. Have a good one.
Roger, roger.